I just want to start off with labels. Let's talk about labels. In the LGBT community and in general, going off a label can mean a very big thing. For example, when I was little, I was in special ed classes, and I let that label define me, special ed. And I was bullied for taking special ed classes all throughout school, in middle school. So I let that label define me, and I felt worthless. So, in other words, if we let labels define who we are, then it can create a monster of us. Like, for example, people being called lesbo or faggot, being bullied or called names or something like that. It's really your choice whether you let that label define you or not. I think labels are absolutely stupid, and they are only there to hurt people. Because, I mean, like, for example, being emo, just because you wear all black does not mean that you're emo. Or wearing, like, a bunch of neon stuff or having different colored hair does not mean that you're sane. I mean, it's really controversial in that area, but if we let labels define who we are, then it can totally change how we see ourselves in a completely different way. If you let people define who you are, then it's going to really be a long road for you. With me, I say forget labels. They're just not for me, because you are who you are, and it's just, you shouldn't have to just fit yourself in a genre, like a certain genre or area, just because of how you dress, how you look, what sexual orientation you are. I mean, it's not a good thing to let labels define us. They're just words. They're just categories. It could definitely deceive your own perception. I'd also like to pinpoint that one of the issues that I have noticed, and I think it's a huge issue, is that in my school there are no gender-neutral bathrooms, and like in my school there's none, and I think that's a huge issue, because I mean, my principal, it's not only that he's homophobic, but there should have been gender-neutral bathrooms in the first place. The thing is, a lot of times people get really mad when you get somebody's gender wrong, but you gotta understand, a lot of people are just not educated in that area. So I think that what I'm trying to say here is, if you accidentally call somebody by the wrong gender, it's probably because they're not educated in that area. I know that I had to be really well educated, because I was not very good at the gender-neutral pronoun thing. So I had learned that if you don't understand somebody's gender, that you just call them by their name, or you ask in a polite manner. See, the thing is, I think that transgender people and their rights are not often recognized, because I had a friend at my school who was transgender, and he had a really difficult time. He was bullied terribly, and his parents did not support him. I think that we need more laws for transgender people, and more rights in schools. And it's not only just with high schools, it's with colleges too, and just in general, because if you're in high school or you're not in school at all anymore, there's not really much they can do to protect you, especially in a workplace. I know in Georgia, the state that I live in, there are no laws protecting you for anything. You could be fired over, it doesn't matter. You could be fired for walking in the door the wrong way. It doesn't matter. But most definitely, one of the big ones is that if they even suspect that you're gay, they can fire you, and you can't be protected for that. And I mean, I find it really sad. But I went to Pride before, and I did the trans march. I've gotten a lot more educated in that area with trans people. But oh, and another thing, what people don't understand is there's a huge difference between being transsexual and being transgender. So, like, transgender is basically how you identify yourself, and being a transsexual is when you get the surgery. Um, I, I've actually, I mean, in the past few years, I've gotten a lot more educated in that, and I've had to explain it to other people who would sit there making fun of transgender people, and I don't think that's right at all, because it doesn't matter what you identify yourself, because it's your life, and if that's the way you were born, then go for it. It doesn't matter. I was also put on the steering committee. Not too long ago, a few months ago, I was put on the steering committee for Georgia's as a student leader to start a GLSEN chapters in my state. Now, let me mention that Georgia is part of the Bible Belt, so it's pretty difficult, but we're going to have that up and running by September. It's a really, really big thing to me, because I really, really want to make a difference here for GLSEN and in Georgia. And the fact that I'm doing something as a student leader for students all over, it's just insane. I mean, I would never thought that I would get where I am now. One issue that I've always had is that people don't realize it, but it's, whether you do it or not, it's more like our allies that are getting bullied. People that are straight, heterosexual, that are getting bullied just for supporting gay people, gay rights, etc. And our allies are scared to do something about it because people will bully them. I remember when I Haven't Yet came out, and I was in class, and I said, yeah, I support gay people. And I got bullied for that. And a bunch of other people were in the same class, and people would just be so cruel to them because they were allies and support gay people. In my school, if you support gay people, you were one of the most terrible people. And just imagine what it would be like to be gay. I mean, that's where the physical harm comes in. I really think that our allies need to be protected more. I mean, it's a huge issue because we need more allies in this world. We really do. And our allies are the ones that really seriously make a difference. They're the ones that give gay people the energy, or just give that positive vibe that we're here for you. And it's not just gay people that are getting bullied. I mean, they get called names too. Because I have so many friends that are just allies, and they have told me the things that have happened, and I have witnessed it. And it is just terrible that sometimes even our allies get it worse than even I would get, because my friend was beat up terribly. And I mean, it was just one of the saddest things in the world, that just because you support rights that were stolen, that should have never even had to be a right. It's terrifying. It's sad. Another thing I would like to pinpoint here is that I went to Capitol Hill to speak about the Safe Schools Improvement Act and speak to Congress and share my story. That was actually that was like a serious eye-opener, amazing thing that happened. Speaking to Congress and them just hearing me, it was amazing. The Safe Schools Improvement Act is an absolutely amazing thing. It helps students be protected when things don't go so good with bullying. So when that was passed, I was so happy, and to be a part of that was phenomenal. One of the issues that I have faced is gay slurs, and I think that's a huge issue. What can we do to stop that? What can we do to replace that? And what can we do to let students know that that's not right in a positive manner? Often, positive reinforcement doesn't often work. So, a group of friends and I have started using That's So Straight. But then we realized that that's really, it's the same thing. You should, if we're sitting here saying don't use That's So Gay, then we realized that it wasn't right to say That's So Straight. So, I have been working on, and my GSA has been working on, the things that we can do to replace that, like saying that's so fabulous or something like that, you know. I think that's a huge issue, and I think that people really don't know what they're saying when they're really just trying to say that's so stupid, and that is one of the most common lines I hear every single day in my school. I also spoke at the Respect Awards as a student leader, and I got to meet different people and with different backgrounds, and I got to really see what their situations were like and get an understanding of what they're going through. And just hearing different stories and people getting bullied, and it's one of the most incredible things. I think in order for people to take action, you have to seriously have empathy. You have to understand. You have to have a serious perception. My perception completely changed when I went to the Respect Awards, because I realized that this is my family, that I may not just be the only one, which I know I'm not the only one, but it's just insane how many people were there just like me, and I was just like, wow. When you get a different perception and put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you really start to understand what is really going on in this world and just how bad it is. But you also understand all the support you have and how all these people are here for the same reason, or different reasons, but the same reason. Like, we're all here because, we support gay people. We're all here because we want to make a difference. We want to make schools safer. We want to change the world because we believe that we shouldn't have to have gay rights. Those rights should have never been there. We should have always had the freedom to marry the same sex. We should always have the freedom to love who we choose to love. It doesn't matter. And another issue is just, it's more like using the Bible as your defense. It blows my mind how many people that I know, bigots, using the Bible as their defense. It's more like, I keep trying to tell people the Bible has been translated so many times that if you're gonna use your religion as a defense, then don't speak at all, because I believe in Christianity and stuff, but I just don't believe that there is a God that could hate people just for liking the same sex. But I do believe in God. I'm a believer in God, but I consider myself non-denominational, because I could just never see myself having a God that hates you just because of loving the same sex, for being happy. It's pretty sad. Another thing I would like to say is that I was always a follower, but it took me seeing the issues that were going on that were not being handled for me to stand up and do something about it.